It's a longer discussion, and we could probably take up to 3 hours today talking about legal and moral issues. But I would say that morally, most people in the United States that I can speak for, and elsewhere as well, in other countries, will morally not deal in it at the moment.
So if I understand you correctly, you're saying that you understand it is not legal to bring in diamonds into the United States that were sourced from Russian rough, but transformed? I mean, I
No,
understood that substantial
it is
transformation.
legal.
It is legal, okay. Now, the issue that
It is not legal
right,
to bring in Russian rough that was produced in Russia
yeah,
into other countries as polished and shipped.
right, agreed. But if you were to buy diamonds from Russia legally in Antwerp, okay, and cut those diamonds in Israel or India, you could then sell them to the United States market.
You can.
You can. It's legal.
It's legal.
Okay. So my question goes to the line of, hey, does IDMA, as an organization, or as the United States organization of IDMA, which is
DMI,
the
Diamond
DMIA,
Manufacturers Importers.
do you have a rule that says your members can't trade those diamonds? I mean,
Not-
do trade
again-
organizations take any positions
Mike.
beyond legal? And it's okay if not.
Can we take a position? Yes. I've stated morally we shouldn't be doing this, we shouldn't be trading in it. I have clients, retailers out there that have sent us emails or documents to fill out that we will not trade with them in Russian production, period. And some of them, unfortunately, which is, a problem, I look at it as, don't even want prior to February 24th at the moment. They don't want the Russian nameplate in their stores at the moment.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's their
And
choice.
they want to be able to say that. That's their choice. Do I believe that's correct? No, because I think that prior to the 24th and the sourcing, the goods are there.
Yeah, I don't think the issue is prior to the 24th. I think the issue for us is, do trade organizations have the capacity or capability of taking an ethical position that is more than what the law requires? So my question to you would be, does IDMA say, or the U.S. diamond manufacturers, if you do this, we're going to throw you out?
No,
Okay.
because legally, we don't have the right to throw them out. Morally, we have the right to tell them we don't think it's correct, and you're going to have to, again, you're going to have to address it legally, and you're going to have to address it morally. And that's there. So morally, I won't trade in it, okay? Morally, a lot of our colleagues will absolutely not trade in it. And we can say that, but to enforce it, legally, I can't enforce it. So
Okay.
what am I doing?
All right, so you say that IDMA organizations can't, but maybe I can also ask David Buffard, who's online. I hope we're able to fix this thing so that we can. Okay, so maybe David should not be on mute, and we'll try to see David over here and see what the RJC can do, or if it does or it wants to do anything. Let me see if I can find this. Here we go. There we go. So maybe David, can you speak? I'd love to hear from you.
And I'm just going to take a second here because I think this morning's breakfast, which I listened to for 2 hours this morning, was irresponsible. And I would hope you would take this time before we get underway this afternoon to apologize to organizations like the RJC and the World Diamond Council for the irresponsible comments you made this morning, particularly putting petitions out against the WDC. So that's how I'd begin. I thought you would be using your forum to educate our trade and inform and provide guidance about the situation we have as a global crisis right now. Instead, you're choosing to use it for division. And I don't understand that. So that's how I'd like to start this meeting this afternoon.
Well, I think you're entitled to ask me to apologize. I think you have blood on your hands by supporting the certification.
I have blood on my hands. Be very careful about what you
human
say.
rights violations. So you and I can agree to disagree, which is fine. And I think that's one of the reasons we're trying to reach out to the industry here. But my point about the Kimberley process is very clear. The Kimberley process and those that support it have blood on their hands. They're responsible for the death and the torture of people in Merengue, in the CAR, and in other places. So to hold out and say, don't worry, we've got everything under control here, is really unacceptable to me. So I respect you, and I respect all the good work that you do, and even maybe the WUC does, but it's time to leave the Kimberley process. We cannot support an organization that certifies the legitimacy of straightness. So I respect you, but I'm not
So
going to apologize.
Why don't you build
I
on
think
that?
you
Why
should
don't you
apologize,
explain to
frankly,
your audience
for
that
being
the
in a
KP
position
is one part of it? The
promoting
KP
this
is one part of it.
miscommunication about conflict on this, is all these things, and that everybody here is dancing to this Kimberley process, which is an unbelievable disaster as far as the people in Sierra Leone go. Not Sierra Leone, thank God we're past that. But in terms of Merengue, it's just not acceptable. I can't accept the fact that people are tortured and those diamonds are certified. I just cannot accept it. So we can disagree, and that's, I guess, we bring people together here who disagree. But I'm not going to support the Kimberley process or any organization that supports the Kimberley process, like the WDC or even the RJC at the time. So I think we have to, look, it's very simple. Stop certifying blood diamonds. That's it. You stop or you don't. It's not complicated. But I respect you, please. You can be.
That's not the only.
And you can say, we have no right to petition the WDC who decides in and of itself to represent the entire diamond community, which I think is not correct. But go ahead. You know, the bottom line, I'm asking you, if a person is a member of the RJC, can they sell diamonds that come from Russia, that are manufactured outside of Russia, even though they're legal? That's a simple question. Do we have anything above the law? And
Yes,
that's
and you know it. Yes, and you know it. You asked us to offer responses to your March.
David, 1 second.
Yeah, please.
Speaking.
I'm trying to.
There you go.
There.
You're back.
Okay. Thank you. Look, Martin, you asked for us to respond to you back in March, and we laid out a 4-layered system about how to address human rights abuses around the world in our industry. Okay, and it starts with the Kimberley process. All right, and it has a narrow mission, which we all know. Okay, and then we build on that by following the system of warranties that the WDC provides. Okay, and companies like ourselves ought to audit those practices. Thirdly, is joining organizations like the Responsible Jewelry Council, which audits business practices of its members. And then fourthly, you can borrow the USJC or the JAs or the Signet Responsible Sourcing Protocol. Those are the kinds of steps that companies and every individual in this industry has the responsibility to implement. To sit there and say that the KP has the sole responsibility to manage human rights abuses in our industry is untrue, unfair, and irresponsible. And I don't know why you keep promoting that idea when we have all given you the best tools and the best responses for everybody to follow. It's at least a 4-layered system, and it starts with the Kimberley process. And you know that. So why do you continue to divide and push questions that put people against each other instead of using this forum to educate? That's what is confusing to me. You have an opportunity this morning to educate people. You have an opportunity this afternoon to educate people about what due diligence means. And I ask you, what do you do? What does Rappaport do in terms of due diligence for the people that are on RapNet? We'd like to know. Are they members of the RJC or are they not? What do you do to make sure that people you're dealing with have responsible business practices, that the goods you're getting meet the standards you're talking about? Why don't you tell us?
Okay, I think that's a very good point, because you know what? We're getting to the real issues here.